My best friend kept flirting with me for months. When I finally confessed, he laughed in my face and said I was delusional. So I'd been best friends with Ryan since the sophomore year of college, when we got paired up for a chemistry project. We just clicked immediately, and spent the next 4 years basically attached at the hip. After graduation, we both got jobs in the same city, and kept hanging out constantly. Everything was totally platonic until about 8 months ago when Ryan started acting differently. It started with him texting me good morning every single day with heart emojis. Then he'd constantly find excuses to touch me, like fixing my hair, or putting his hand on my lower back when we walked through doors. He started calling me beautiful instead of dude, and would get weird when other guys talked to me at bars. When we'd watch movies at his place, he'd pull me close and play with my hair for hours. One time, he literally traced circles on my thigh for an entire episode of a show, and when I looked at him, he just smiled and kept going. My roommate Jess said he was obviously into me, but I kept making excuses because I didn't want to ruin the friendship if I was reading it wrong. But then Ryan escalated things even more. He started buying me random gifts like jewelry and expensive perfume. He'd plan these elaborate hangouts that were basically dates, complete with reservations at romantic restaurants where he'd insist on paying. He drunk called me one night at 2 a.m. saying he missed my voice and needed to hear it before he could sleep. Another time we were at a party and he told everyone I was the most important person in his life while staring straight at me. He even introduced me to his new coworkers as his girl before quickly correcting himself. The final straw was when he showed up at my apartment with flowers after I had a bad day at work, held me for 20 minutes, and whispered that everything would be okay because he'd always take care of me. That night I decided I had to tell him how I felt because the signals were so obvious. Even my Uber driver commented on how in love my boyfriend seemed. I planned it all out, invited Ryan over for dinner at my place, and made his favorite food. After we ate, I sat him down and told him I developed feelings for him and wanted to know if he felt the same way since he'd been acting like he did for months. Ryan literally burst out laughing. Not nervous laughter, but actual belly laughing like I told the funniest joke ever. He said I must be confused because he was just being a good friend and that I'd completely misread everything. He actually used the word delusional. Then he said he thought of me like a little sister, and the idea of us together was hilarious and kind of gross. He kept laughing as he explained that the touching and gifts were just him being friendly, and I shouldn't assume every guy who's nice wants to date me. He left still chuckling about how awkward I'd made things. I cried for 2 days straight. Jess had to call in sick for me because I couldn't function. But then I got angry, really angry, because you don't act like that with someone you see as a sister. So I decided to show Ryan exactly what he'd thrown away. First, I completely cut contact. No explanation, no dramatic goodbye, just stopped responding to everything. Ryan texted asking if I was okay, and I left him on read. He called 6 times that first week, and I ignored every single one. He even showed up at my apartment, but I had Jess tell him I wasn't home even though my car was right there. While Ryan was freaking out about losing his best friend, I started living my absolute best life. I joined a boxing gym and got in the best shape ever. I started wearing the clothes I'd always been too self-conscious to wear. I got that promotion I'd been working toward and started making bank. But the real kicker was when I started dating Alex from my gym. Alex was everything Ryan pretended not to be. Gorgeous, successful, and completely obsessed with me in the most genuine way. He'd post about me constantly, calling me his dream girl. We'd go to all the places Ryan and I used to hang out, and people would comment on what a perfect couple we were. Ryan started seeing it all through mutual friends' social media and lost his mind. He tried reaching out through our friend group, saying he missed me and didn't understand what happened. Our mutual friend Kevin told me Ryan kept asking about Alex and whether I was really happy. Then Ryan started showing up at places he knew I'd be. The coffee shop I went to every Saturday, the bookstore I loved, and even my gym, until they told him he needed a membership to keep hanging around. Each time he'd try to approach, and I'd act like he was invisible while Alex held me closer. The breaking point for Ryan was when we all ended up at the same house party. Alex and I showed up looking incredible, and Ryan watched me be happier than I'd ever been with him. When Alex went to get drinks, Ryan cornered me and said he'd made a mistake, and realized he did have feelings for me. He said seeing me with someone else made him understand what he'd lost. He actually tried to grab my hand and said we could start over. I looked him dead in the eye and laughed. Full story on channel. Link below.